So I asked my students at school, what does kindness mean to you? And one of my students says, well, kindness means being nice to everybody. Kindness means sharing with others. Kindness means giving even when you don't have much. And then one of my students handed in his work and said that kindness means good self-talk to yourself, that you don't call yourself dumb. And I just thought that was interesting because as adults, I believe that sometimes we get so down on ourselves, or we can be really harsh, where that self-talk and that dialogue that occurs within our minds is almost as though we don't give ourselves a chance to be. And so our practice this evening surrounds not only around kindness, but a little bit more around love directed to yourself. So if you have a pet, if you have a child, if you have a partner, even if you have a best friend whom you know what that feels like to truly love, if you can just for a minute imagine what that sensation is like in your body, is just to feel love for that person, that thing, or that being. And as you bring that sensation into your body, or imagine what that is for you, and start to bring it back in. Could you have that much love for you? And what that might mean for you is not only the self-talk and the dialogue that you have, the conversation with you and yourself, but that love might be represented as giving yourself a chance to do something that maybe you fear in life. Maybe allowing yourself to make that huge mistake, to fall and to fail, but then knowing how to pick yourself back up again is a part of that love for self. And so today our intention is around not only giving that love that you already have to those people and those things that are in your life and around you, but being able to harness and bring back that love to nurture and care for yourself, your being, and your soul. Please take your hands to fold together. Center chest directly in front of the organ of the heart itself, lifting the heart to meet the thumbs in connection, and taking a very low bow of the chin toward your chest. That feeling that you embody, that you know when you love someone or something, now begin to turn and bring back that love and offer it to yourself tonight. Let's take a deep breath in, a full breath out and through. Relax your hands down to your thighs. Take your first position on all fours for a few cycles of cat and cow. And start by flexing and extending the spine. So moving naturally along with the backs. Movements of extension and flexion, opening the heart itself, drawing the shoulders back. And then maybe invite your body to sway in a lateral motion, so weighting the hips in behind you, letting the head, the neck, and the shoulders and the upper part of your body also sway along with your movement. And take about 3 more breaths in your chosen form, so either extension, flexion, or maybe swaying side to side. And as you invite the breath in, let your breath start to really make contact to your belly, to your lungs, and start nourishing yourself with this concentrated breath. Last full one, looking good. Nice beginning. Slowly lower your hips back to heels, take child's pose. Reach your hands and palms forward, let them touch, and then bend your elbows and rest the thumbs to the very back of the neck. Allow the weight of the hands to the back of the neck to lower the forehead toward the earth and the ground, to furthermore start to steady your mind. So whatever busyness, whatever energy is occurring in the brain, the upper cavity of skull, just start to let it become more calm and relaxed as you're breathing. Calm and relaxed as you feel the contact of the earth meet back to the third eye or the forehead. Deep breath in here. Full breath out and through. Return to all fours, hands and knees. Spread the fingertips out nice and wide. Choose toes tucked underneath or tops of the feet pressing to the floor, but the legs are fully engaged. Inhale the right arm up toward the sky. Spread the fingers wide And then exhale, take a little sweep of the right hand to the back of the left wrist and start to bring the right temple down to the floor. But just be mindful we won't hold just yet. Push down through the left hand, undo, untwist. Feed right arm up to sky, inhale. Exhale, do that again, sweeping the right arm underneath the back of the left wrist and just meeting the head closer to earth. One more time, inhale, extend, open up the chest to the right. Exhale, sweeping underneath, and this time we'll hold. So go ahead and really reach that right arm to the left side of your mat, full stretch, and allow the temple to rest gently toward the earth. Tent up onto your left finger pads of the hand and use that to leverage the body, the shoulder. So as you're pushing down with the left, you're going to pull back with the right arm just a little and see if you can feel the stretch or the sensation occur around the meat of the back shoulder blade, particularly your rhomboid. Take a deep breath in here. Nice full exhale out and through your mouth. Undo, unwind, take the right arm back, palms to earth. One cycle cat-cow just to bring the spine back to neutral. Other side, inhale, left arm up toward the sky. Exhale, sweeping underneath, and we'll do that 2 more times before we hold. Inhale, left arm right up to the sky. Your foundation of the right hand, finger spread wide, will really help. Exhale, sweeping under. Last time, full breath in, reach on up, turn the chest, open your heart, nice lift. Exhale, sweep on under and hold. Left arm moving to the right side of your mat, outer shoulder down, temple reaches flat to floor. Do the same thing here and tent up onto the right finger pads of the hand. And as you push down, pull back through the left arm. Take a gentle turning and the sweeping of the hips to the left hand side so they square. And keep breathing here for 2 full cycles of breath. Possibly feeling the opening of space, the release of tension to the back of your shoulder blade. Use your right hand, press down, inhale, untwist, unwind. Hands, palms meet to the floor. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, round through cow. Push down through the finger pads, tuck your toes underneath, and lift your knees 1 inch away from the ground. Pull in through the core, belly toward the spine. Take a deep inhale here. And see if not to maybe move through 1 cycle cat and cow, but keep your knees lifted. So finding that just a little bit more balanced. Still using the legs and the arms, but particularly and more so the core. Exhale, hips nice and high, downward facing dog. Paddle out through your heels. Shift the weight side to side. And then let yourself discover the even distribution of your feet, right and left. Long extension through the arms, shoulders drawing back from the ears. Take a deep inhale. Nice full washing, cleansing exhale through your mouth. So we'll stay here for 2 more of those breaths. Inhale through the nose, breathing into your belly, right into your lungs. Exhale, washing sigh. 1 more, full breath in. Exhale, washing sigh. Looking forward in between your hands, you can step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, forward fold. Bend your knees a fair amount to rest your chest on top of your thighs. Reach your hands in behind you, interlace the fingers, and start by drawing the shoulders away from the chest. Think as though you could let your heart lead the way on this fold, even though bowing forward and down. So heart draws toward the earth, chin softens in. With the heart still open, the shoulders drawn back, reach your knuckles up toward the sky. Then from this extension, maybe choose to straighten the legs any amount you desire. Heart leads the way down, keep looking for it, feeling for it, and then breathing right into it. Heart to crown head. Full breath in, and full breath out. When we get really heady into our minds, we can often make a poor decision. But if we often let our heart lead the way, letting the heart speak first from this place of center in your body, generally you might find the right choice or might make the right choice. Let's release hands from your woven grip. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, forward fold. Bend your knees, slow ragdoll to stand. Stack one vertebra over the other as you come up to tall. And we'll meet in standing mountain, toes wide, arms alongside you. Let's take a lift of your shoulders up toward your ears as you inhale. And then exhale, soften them back and down. Let's do that 2 more times. You can bend the knees a little bit too. I'm doing that. Inhale. And then exhale, soften down. One last time. Inhale, shoulders lift up. Exhale, soften down. Reach your arms up toward the sky. Take Shiva Mudra grip. Interlace your fingers, cross the thumbs any which way, left or right and behind. Index knuckles or points high toward the sky, index fingers. Inhale over to the right, little side bend. Come up through center, over to the left. Come up through center, and this time we'll hold. So take a deep bend into your knees and your elbows. Settle into your stance. When you straighten the legs, really push the feet into the ground. You're already standing, but you really want to engage your legs. That's it. Nice and tall, full length and reach. Drop the shoulders and the traps. Now take a deep breath in. Pull in from your core, belly to spine, and slowly start to take your lean to the right-hand side. Fingertips can act as a guide to reach straight upward. Sometimes if we're coming a bit forward in the spine or from the perspective of the side here, or leaning too far back and putting pressure on the low spine itself. So try to really center out your torso, shoulders over pelvis, by using the direction of the fingers. Lean a bit more weight into the left side leg and take your right foot off the floor. Then place your right foot to the floor. Feel nice and balanced with the 2. Inhale up your center. Exhale, bend your knees, your elbows. Nicely done. Other side. Inhale, nice tall body, reach up. Exhale over to the left. Keep the fingers really extending out from your heart. Lean weight into the right, maybe let go of left foot. Good, way to shake things up right away. Both feet planted to the earth. Inhale all the way up center, and then release your hands and palms to your low back. Ensure that your hands are there to support your weight. Lift your left shoulder up toward the earlobe, roll it in behind you. And then do the same thing with your right. Now with the chest already broad, expanded heart, we're going to take a very gentle lift upward. Squeeze the elbows and start to carry your heart skyward. As though you could lead the way from the front of your chest. Fear nothing here, as leaning backward can be a little scary. Trust yourself as you let your heart lead the way in the direction skyward. One more breath. Do we love ourselves enough to trust ourselves? Do we love ourselves enough to give ourselves that chance and opportunity? Rise out up nice and slowly, hands to hips. Bend your knees, forward fold. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, soften knees. Plant your hands and palms to your mat, step back, high plank. From the tail to the crown end of your spine, ripple forward to your high plank pause. So just checking for good measure, hands and feet a good distance away when your shoulders are landing over your wrists, elbows standing on top. Take a deep breath in here, and from your core, exhale back, hips high, downward dog. Inhale slowly forward, return to high plank. Lead with your heart and chest, so that means not allowing the head to fall forward. It carries lots of weight, so you're going to brighten up your heart and chest, engage your core, lift the head, slowly bend the elbows and lower with a nice long spine parallel to floor. Untuck your toes, tops of your feet, take baby cobra, little inhale. Exhale, lower to the mat, press back to child's pose. If you like that variation that we started with, hands and palms together, absolutely. Otherwise, charging the fingertips, really reaching forward, keeping that extension of the arm line from the heart, charged and alive. Feel the vitality of life as you breathe into this form and shape. And let a result of settling mind, of softening thought, be brought back into the heart. And then maybe listen. And see if you can practice consciously listening to the heart itself. When you're ready, return to downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up toward the sky. Exhale, step it forward and through for a lunge. So you can always bring the back knee down if you need more support with whatever you're enduring or going through in the week. If you're choosing to lift the knee, then keep the heel standing over the back toes. Let's take an inhale and come up toward high lunge, or toward lunge position. Low lunge, your knee is down, arms are up in height rather. That's it. Take your right arm and sweep the elbow underneath the left. So you're going to cross at the joints. Got it. Backs of the hands start to move together, just assessing if that feels okay. If it's too much, keep the hands free and separated. If you're okay to do it, you can wind the hands in, palm to palm, fingers press. Whichever variation you're choosing, use your heels and your toe here, right and left foot, to steer the pelvis into square. So the right hip is drawing back, left one slightly coming forward. Take a deep breath in. From your heart to your hands, now maybe start to lift up. And you can lift up or lower down any amount, maybe taking a gesture and sometimes what we call a bit of like shoulder flossing through the joint, is kind of coming up and down a few times. Legs remain sturdy, your foundation is steady through your widespread toes. Couple more breaths, whether you're being still or whether you're moving up in the upper body a little. Last deep breath here. Undo, unwind your wings nice and freely. Reach up, charge the legs, look up. Exhale, hands and palms to center chest. Lean forward and down just a little. And then twist to the right by hooking your left elbow to the outer thigh. If your legs feel fatigued, a good time to drop that back knee to the floor. Take your twist here, elbow to outer thigh. Draw both shoulders back slightly in order to give space for your heart to move freely. So even though your hands are there, it's not as though we bind or trap the upper chest, but that we can actually provide freedom while the hands are leveraging in support. Keep your heart spiraling to the right-hand side. You've got one more breath in your rotation. Nice shoulders, everybody. Slowly untwist, unwind, hands down to the floor. Sweep right leg back, downward facing dog. Paddle out through the heels, move about, be still, or maybe find child's pose for a couple of breaths. If you're in child's pose, come on back up to down dog. Nice slow vinyasa here. Inhale, rippling forward to high plank. Good, keeping the chin off the chest, lengthen the back of the neck. Exhale, lower the spine to the floor parallel. Untuck toes, tops of feet, draw the shoulders back. This time, if you like, really opening through the heart. You might come up a little higher into upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over your feet, downward facing. Let's take a cleansing style breath here together as a class. Inhale through the nose, let it reach your belly and your lungs. Exhale, washing sigh. Inhale, left leg to sky. Exhale, step forward. Deep breath in and pause on fingertips. Decide whether you need the knee down for support or not. And then slowly climb on up so your arms are reaching toward the sky. It's going to exaggerate this one a little bit, especially because you can see it on the left side. So I'm going to allow that hip to come forward a lot. I'll set up through the arms first. Left elbow underneath the right this time. Now that I have my upper body hands in place, I'm kind of pressing into my arms to assist my chest and my shoulders to square out and forward. And then do the same thing with your hips and pelvis. Toes and front heel pushing into the mat to pivot your hips into square. So here my hips are widely open to the right. I'm going to pull back and square them out so they're forward. Take a deep breath in. Now with your hips square, your legs toned, start to lift the energy of your heart along with your arms upward. And if you were taking that shoulder flossing effect, then a little up and down is fine. We're going to keep flowing with your breath here for 2 more cycles. Is the love or the self-talk that you hear within you, is it demanding? Is it forceful? As we approach poses that may feel a little bit more challenging in our balance, I really invite you to listen in. Undo, unwind, let the arms free, reach up. Hands and palms together, center chest. A little lean forward, exhale, twist, right elbow to the outer left thigh. So the hips are still in that square placement. Sometimes when we lean to one side, that left hip might want to come forward. You're going to really sweep it back. I take the technique of my thumb to kind of assist myself there, and you can try that out. Good, so have a look at where your thumbs are. Nice, and see if you can start floating the heart to turn toward the thumbs. Not to crank or force the twist, but to allow that expansion from your chest. There's so much to be said about when we actually do lead with the heart, the physical organ itself. There brings an expression and a charge, a sensation and an essence of energy into our bodies. Inhale and twist, unwind. Nice work, everybody. Hands and palms rest. That was a long hold. Step back, downward facing dog. You have the option here, vinyasa is optional, or you can lower down to child's pose. Okay, choose what you need, go for it. Holding for 2 breaths, whether it's downward dog or child's. Then slowly come forward, lower your knees down if they're not already, and then bring your forearms and your elbows down as well. You can spread the fingers wide, palms face the earth. You can interlace your hands. Do what is necessary to support your wrists and your shoulders, then step the knees back a little further. As you bring the spine to a low degree, hips to the closer to the floor, you can stay here in a supported plank. You can tuck the toes and then lift the knees, but just ensure that your shoulders are back enough so that they're over your elbows, and gazing back to the feet and ensuring that the heels land on top. Let's take a few warming breaths into the center of your core, plank pose. Try lifting the chin away from the chest and keeping that effect of that lengthy spine, including the cervical spine, which is your neck. Lower the knees down to the earth, take Sphinx pose, find your breath, inhale. Exhale, lower just for a moment and let the forehead reach the tops of the hands as you bring them together and rest. Shake your hips about side to side, releasing any tension in your back, and observe your mind here. What were some of the words in dialogue when you were holding that challenging position? Is it serving to yourself? Is it something that you would say to those around you whom you love? Can you love yourself with that much attention, energy, and feeling as you would those around you? Slowly release coming up. Bring the fingertips wide. Go right off your mat to the floor. Point your elbows up and on top of the wrists. Slowly lift up. And we'll take that shoulder chest stretch by gazing to the left, dropping the right shoulder in. Keep the fingertips pronging to the ground so there's a sense of strength and also rooting down. Inhale, untwist, undo. Toes are pressing to the mat. They stay sturdy through the base body. Exhale, turn to the right and drop your left shoulder. Slowly untwist, unwind, come through center. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders and press back to child's pose. Deep breath in, full breath through. Come back to the intention that you've set. Come forward, and for a brief moment, a little stretch into the quads. You're going to take your knees wide, bring the hands in behind you, and then slowly start to lift the hips up, tuck the tailbone underneath. So you're giving space to your low lumbar, and then bringing the hips back to the heels. Little lift, tuck the tail, and then lower back. So just be here briefly, not too long of a hold. We're not coming down to cool just yet. Keep the toes pressing into your mat. Now see what happens if, when you have the hands behind you, gather the shoulder blades onto the back body and start to lead upward with the heart and chest. Keep the chin and the head level for this one rather than throwing it back into extension. So gazes forward or even low to the floor if that really helps you. A couple breaths into the legs, but more so the heart. And slowly release, hips all the way down, and bring the hands forward with lots of weight. Step it back, downward facing dog. And paddle out the heels as you need. Bring the big toes together to touch. Spread the fingers out wide, bend the knees. Zipping up through the legs, charging and toning through your abs, belly in. Take 3 light hops on the spot. So you're going to land in the same place, feet in behind you. Work at stacking the shoulders maybe over the hands and wrists. Maybe even the hips over the hands, wrists, and shoulders. And then pause. Can you give yourself a chance? Big leap of faith, hopping all the way forward. Legs are going to land somewhere closer to your hands. That's it, there you go, good work. Inhale, halfway raise. Nice job, you guys. Exhale, bow, forward fold. Bring the hands in behind you. There's a little space between the feet and the shins. As you reach your arms behind, go to the backs of the shins, and then move the hands and palms to the fronts of the calves and make a little cross at the wrists. Knees can be bent a heaping amount, but really stay engaged as you gently grip the shins. Slow extension, bow forward. Lots of breath, breathing down the backs of your hips, all the way into your heels. Keep the toes spreading wide. And release through the crowned head in your neck. Slowly release the arms from in behind you. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, forward fold. This time as you rise, come up into chair pose. So keeping the feet exactly as is, parallel. Arms reach forward and really charging and toning down the legs. Deep breath in here. That's it. Reach your arms, extend from your heart line. And then exhale, come to stand. Hands and palms together, center chest. Gentle breath in. And full breath out. Step the weight into your right foot. Spread the toes wide. And we'll set up for tree in physical balance. So the left sole foot sliding up and down the right leg, finding a good point where your hips can stay square in position. Well, sometimes as I slide a little higher, if my hip feels tight, then it's going to want to turn in one direction often. So just ensure that you're keeping your pelvis facing forward as best as you can. Tonight we'll take a variation where we're interlacing the fingers to the back body. So here my knuckles are pressing against my low lumbar, just a little for leverage. Be mindful that the right toes are not squishing into one another and causing a strain in the arch, but rather more expanding into the foundation of the floor. Keeping the knuckles pressed, let's lead with the heart and start to lift up toward the sky. Remember that feeling of the back bend, although floating back, although maybe feeling a little scared. Start to find and create the courage within your body, starting from the source of love in your heart and being able to use that source of love and being able to ignite and feel where the courage exists and bring that to raise up toward the sky. Go higher with the lift. That's it, higher with the lift. And although the hands are reaching back and down, they can reach, but it's the heart that's really going to lead the way. Come up through center, stay with me here. Hands are gonna slide to the low back for support. If you ever have any back tension, bring the hands there, can really help, or even softening the right knee. Let's lift the left foot off the leg and turn the knee to point the front. Hands are still there. Drive back through the ball of your left leg. Hands are still there supporting your spine. Extend through the leg any amount on that left side and then drop the hip. From here, decide to keep the hands in support of your back or maybe extend them as well and come into this variation of airplane. Shoulders drawing back, chin sweeps a little to chest. You've got that nice natural curve in the back of your neck again. Deep breath in. Full breath through. Last one, stay with me here. You're going to bend your right knee just a little. Reach back with your left foot to the rear of your mat. Keep your hands as is if you can. Land the foot and then raise the heart and the chest again. Hands are rooting down to the floor. So when we don't have our hands to help us feel balanced, notice that stir of energy and what it does to your mind, but know that you can trust yourself by leading with your heart. So keeping those hands behind you. All right, and then let go, reach on up. Nice long one. Well done, everybody. Hands come down to the floor. Here's an option for a vinyasa. If you're looking for a little bit more tone and strength today, then as you press down with your hands, when your right leg comes off the floor, you have the muscles of your core and abdominals. When the leg extends back, the toes land, you're gonna bend the elbows at the same time. So you're right into that low push-up. Rise through your back bend of choice, low cobra, upward dog. Exhale back through downward dog. Deep breath in. Connect and follow through with your exhale. So you have that choice now. Neither's right or wrong. It's whatever serves your body. Look forward and maybe hop. If you feel more comfortable stepping, then arrive at the top of your mat from there. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, forward fold. Rise on up to stand. Prayer hands together, center chest. And take a moment here for yourself. And have a little bit of quiet, just breathing into you. Noticing and maybe even being able to discern whether it is your mind that is talking at you, or that maybe you can turn down the volume of your thoughts and be able to listen to the wisdom of your heart. One of the greatest, but maybe even sometimes the hardest relationships to have is the one with yourself. Because you are the one living the experience solely and first-handedly. With all the love and the abundance that you share, that you offer and give out, may you now serve yourself and be able to give yourself that much more love back as you turn in. With this awareness, let's streamline into the other side now. Quite a lengthy sequence. You know where we're going, so keep the intention with your heart as we move into the postures. Wade into the left leg, pose for tree. And you definitely know when it's not a good or safe place to go if you're feeling that pressure. Sometimes with the weight or engagement of the leg, we might do a little of the hip sway, so just be mindful of that as well. You shouldn't feel any pressure on the hip joint. Or prop it back. And then you already know and you have that knowledge in your body to keep that square. Let's interlace your fingers, and little challenge here, interlace the opposite wave of grip that you did the other side. Might be finding your fingers like, oh, it's going to be the one that feels just a little bit weird because you know you naturally or organic cross one direction. Okay, good. Hands are sliding up toward low back, giving support. Left leg stays stamping into the floor with the toes wide. Trust yourself. Start to float the shoulders back. Collarbones are wide. Now start to lift from your heart and up. Manage your breath and let it stay vast, not only in the upper chest as you lift, but also in the trunk of the belly. That's it, good, stay with it. Okay, one more in this shape and pose, and then we're going to morph into our airplane. Come on up, leading with the heart, chin falls in a little closer, neutral neck. Turn the right knee to point to the front. Bend your left knee, gain ground again. Now start driving the right leg back. Hands and knuckles return to the low back if they've left. Use the hands against the low back to now pinch the belly up toward it, feeling lots of strength in the trunk of your core to trust. Slowly now, bend your left knee. Keep reaching back with your right toes. The floor is somewhere and you're going to feel it. And when you do, you have found it. Touch the toes down. Raise the heart up and come into your back bend once again. Slowly back through center, release the interwoven hands, reach your arms up toward the sky, inhale. Exhale, hands and palms down to your mat. So here in that alternative approach back, when you step your left leg to your right, bend the elbows and lower with that energy. Inhale, rise, open heart and chest. Exhale, back, downward facing. Lower your knees to the mat, keep them close together. Take a rounded shape of your spine and prong the fingertips forward like we did in one of the first poses. Forehead meets the mat, encouraging a rounded spine here, releasing any tension that may have crept up during the back bend. We never want to cause strain or bring tension into the body, but certainly if your back is a little sensitive, you might feel it a bit more there. So breathe into the shape, nice rounded spine. Exhale through the shape and stay. Slowly rise, come on up. Hands and knees, toes tucked, downward facing dog. Reach the right leg up toward the sky. Bring the right knee toward the right elbow. Kick the right leg up toward the sky. Bring the right knee toward the left elbow. And then you're just going to stay here, shoulders over hands and wrists, and swing the right knee and thigh to center. Carefully place your foot forward in between the hands and lower the left heel down and in. Rise on up, warrior two. That's it. Really toning through the legs. You're going to hold on to the shape. Interlace your fingers behind your back body again. So same expression, different energy. You're going to lower your right shoulder toward the inseam of your right knee and thigh. Let them connect, make contact. And then soften the chin in. And if you like your hands pressing into your back again to leverage, that's fine. If you want to extend, then as you reach the hands up, it'll add just a little bit more weight for you to bow forward, in, and down. And we call this one humble warrior. So hold there a couple of breaths. There we go. Slowly release this one. You can stay low, but let the hands come down to the floor. You're going to walk them out to the left-hand side of your mat, taking a diagonal as though you were to do a downward dog with your upper body. This time you're going to move and sway your hips back. You might even keep the hips in a bit of motion to access and find some points to stretch in your outer right hip. Sloping the spine down and really letting the weight of the head go can allow your neck muscles to be relaxed as well. Then inhale, walk your hands back underneath your chest, your shoulders. You're going to spin off the back left heel and turn the toes to point to the front. Hand on either side of your right foot. Inhale the right leg up toward the sky. Try to stay with me here. Exhale, bring the right knee to the left elbow.
From the knee to the elbow, squeezing and reaching upward, extend your right leg out to straight on the floor. That's it. Turn your right thumb to point to the top of your mat. And you're going to start to slowly lean the weight onto your right hand. You might come up onto fingertips with the left and keep both legs engaged. They stay touching the floor. If it feels okay on your right shoulder, then you're going to take the left arm off the ground. Turn your hips and your pelvis up toward the sky. Big, huge open star. Well done. Come on back through the middle. Take your vinyasa if you like, or maybe comfort your way down to child's and take some ground. Wherever you are, child's pose or downward dog, come back to the intention and just clean out through the body for 3 cycles of breath. Inhale. Full exhale. Even bigger, last 2. Last 1. Full exhale. Those of you in child, start to make your way back to downward facing dog. In down dog, raise your left leg up toward the sky. Bring the knee to the left elbow, a little bit of core. Inhale, left leg to sky. Bring the left knee toward the right elbow. Hold and squeeze, really cinching in at the waistline. Keep your breath going. And then swing your left knee and thigh to center and place your foot in between the hands. Good. Lower your right heel down to the mat. Slowly rise, warrior 2. Notice your heart's rate, your breath rate. Which one is speaking more loudly? Is it your head in thought, or your heart starting to find its way in the mind of your body? Take your time and interlace your fingers in behind you, opposite weave of grip. Pressing the knuckles toward the spine, slowly lift the chest and then lean forward. Left shoulder meeting the inseam of your left knee and thigh. You can once again keep the hands leveraging into the low back, or feel free to extend them up and overhead to the ceiling. Bowing more forwardly, the crown of the head sweeping down to the floor as the chin draws in. Lots of breath cycles here. You can now very slowly release the hands down to your mat. Let's take that diagonal walk now. Hands are going to go to the right. Long from the waistline to the fingertips, like downward dog, and then lean the hips back. Or maybe choose to move around in certain small directions and find those areas that spark up in the outside of your left hip. Walk hands back, slowly underneath your shoulders, and as you spin off your right heel, turn the toes to the front. With the hands and palms alongside your left foot, step the leg all the way to sky, 3-legged. Let's go once again here. Left knee comes to the right elbow. Straighten the left leg out to the floor on your right hand side, and turn the left thumb to point to the front of your mat. As you roll a bit more weight into the left arm, you can tent up onto the right hand, keep using both arms, or you can start to roll more of the weight onto the left hand. We are coming to the inseam of the right foot, the outer edge of left, as you lift your hips up to sky and raise the energy of your heart. Give yourself a chance here to find your own expression and then really breathe into it while leading with the heart and up. Stay lifted. Okay, good. Exhale, come out slowly and twist and wind through the legs. Take your vinyasa or not, your choice. This one will meet in child's pose. Take your time. Complete breath in. Complete breath through. As well as you know yourself so far at this point in life, how do you serve and how do you love yourself? Is it with care as you would other people? Is it a demand or a harshness of a tone? And can you choose to love yourself with just the right amount of care and tone that you would those in your life? Please come forward from child's. We'll stay on hands and knees. A similar expression as to where we started, and you can always revisit that one. So we're going to stay low on this one, knees wide to the outsides of the mat. And you're going to reach the hands in behind you. And then maybe do that articulation of the pelvis, lift hips up, tuck the toes, and come back into that front quad hip stretch. If you're feeling like you could go a little deeper in terms of the back, or in the back bending and the heart lifting, then you'll bring the knees closer together so that when you stand on top of them, your hips channel right down on top of the knees. We're coming into a pose called camel. So either you're down into Strasana here, saddle pose, you can keep stretching the quads, or maybe coming up into position here. Hands and palms go to the low back, squeeze the elbows together. And the energy derives from the heart, so you're going to lift the heart up. Draw the shoulders back, squeeze the elbows, keep lifting the heart up. And as you continuously lift the heart up, something natural will occur in your upper neck and shoulders. Let it be. We don't need to force or throw the head back at all. And options maybe for some of you, without turning the head in any movement whatsoever, you may reach back for the heels and keep lifting for the heart, lifting with the heart. Good, let's see. Excellent, be gentle. There we go, no force at all. Your body's going to do what it needs, and may it be your heart that chooses versus your mind. Take your time. That's it. Really nice, you guys. As you come up, legs super strong in all variations, toes press. Use your hands to your low back if they migrated. Slowly come to sit on the heels. If sitting on your heels doesn't feel right in your knees, then come to sit on the floor. Turn both palms up toward the sky. Close your eyes and breathe. No matter what is going on in the space around you, be sensitive enough to be aware of the energy that exists within you now, and notice what bubbles up. That expression that you just journeyed into while the heart is being open, it gives you an opportunity to just let yourself be vulnerable with emotion and expression. And physically and energetically in our body, the place of the low spine is where the organs of the kidneys lie, and sometimes energetically yogis believe that there's a lot of energy, emotion, and particularly the emotion of grieving and often sadness. So when we come into that expression, we can think of it as a little squeezing of the sponges of our kidneys, of possibly allowing an invitation to let them be released with perhaps these emotions that were mentioned. Whatever the experience is for you, let it be so. Bring your right hand toward your heart and your left hand to your belly.
and feel for the rhythm, the pulsation of your heart beating, as well as your breath in tone. And you're not trying to make anything occur here, but simply allowing yourself to observe these two energies in the body. Now, often using sound, and some of you are very familiar with the chanting of Om. We're going to do one cycle here, and please feel welcome to join in. If you're unsure, your mic is muted anyway, so don't worry about those around you, but I certainly encourage you to really feel it in your own body here. So we're going to take a single Om. You'll breathe in, and then it's the sound of the Om and the vibration that can often encourage a calmness and a reharmonization again of these two specific areas in the body. So let's take a cleansing breath together. Inhale. Full washing exhale out your mouth. And if you like, join me or just enjoy the sound of a single Om. What are you experiencing here? If you need a little bit more time here for yourself, please feel welcome to stay. If you're ready to come into the next pose, we're going to come right down to seated. You'll extend your legs forward, shake out the knees a fair amount, drum the thighs loosely to the ground. Excellent work, everybody. We're going to stay seated and start to cool down the body and ground the mind from our postures. Right ankle over left thigh, figure four. Bend the left knee and draw the heel in so the sole of the foot meets the floor, and then hands going behind. With our theme and intention of opening the heart, you're going to do the same thing here and lift. If this doesn't feel like much of a sensation to you on the outer hip, then you can, one, bring the heel in closer. Hands and heart lead the way, so you're keeping the spine long. I'll show you from the periphery or the side perspective that when we bring the heel in, we're just being mindful that we're not rounding low into the spine, but the heart does matter here and being the one that leads. So not just physically in the stretches of our body, but also with the essence and integrity of the mind. The left heel can work over to the right-hand side, and you can double up on your pigeon or fire log stance where the legs are stacked like two fire logs. Same expression, heart lifts, hands in behind, and then you could even bow forward. So even though you're coming low, you're still leading with the heart and chest. That's a good, and maybe just soften the chin in just a little bit. Feel that nice long natural slope to the neck. And close your eyes and breathe for 3 cycles of breath, giving that care, love, and attention to where you're feeling it, helping to train or almost gear the mind to redirect love so that it sets deeply into your physical body. I guess you could say that it's almost really easy to love somebody else or to love somebody or something that's really close to you. It can be quite easy, but sometimes it's a little harder to love ourselves. And it's definitely more challenging to love ourselves in those moments where we don't feel right, or we've made a mistake, or we've fallen and failed at something. But that love that you have and the same energy of love that you extend to somebody else or some being is possible to love yourself, especially in those moments. Rise on up, slowly release. Use your hands if necessary. If your knees feel a little tender, to uncross, unfold, do what you need. Extend the legs out wide, wide-legged straddle. Hands in behind you for the first expression, lift the heart, and then maybe bow forward. If it doesn't feel right to press back with your hands, you can lean forward. Just be mindful once again, and from the side, that if we're leaning forward, we're not letting the background in. So it might feel like our chest is open, but then we're rounding at the low spine. So the chest is forward, but also the belly is forward as well. And walking your way up, sitting nice and tall. Take the hands underneath the knees to bend them, and then slowly fold the legs in. Straighten the legs in front of you, give them a little shake. Going to the other side now for figure 4 or possibly double pigeon. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. First begin here, hands behind you, maybe bend the right knee and draw your chest upward. And certainly take that double and slowly come into it. You can always piece it out as well, like a few breaths in at a variation of it, a few breaths in at another. And then something that you know is serving your body, where you can really allow your breath to sit in concentration with the resistance, with the stretching sensation of tension, is to be able to commit to it. And a certain piece of that love that you have for yourself is committing to yourself. The way that you would commit to a person or dedicate your commitment and time to a job is that you've almost already made this contract with yourself in life. And so that, can you commit to yourself? Can you commit to loving yourself in this way? Even when times are difficult. Slowly walk your way up. That's it. Uncross, undo, unwind. Give the legs a little shake again. I would like to offer one more chest opener, heart opener. And if you have blocks, then it can be nice to use them. But if you don't, that's fine as well. Left my blocks in the other space, so I'll demonstrate without the block. If you have a solid foam block, then you're going to place it lengthwise to the backs of your shoulder blades so that you can lie down on it, and it's going to prop your chest up. And then if you have a soft block or a towel or a pillow, it's just to support the neck and go underneath the head. If you have neither or one or either, then you'll lower down. We'll take the same shape all together with our legs, so soles of the feet together, still opening the heart because it's lifted and facing the sky. And then arms can cactus, 90 degrees at the shoulders, the elbows, and the wrists. So long as your shoulder blades are flush to the floor and you don't feel any raising of the shoulders or even the head or the neck, you want to be really relaxed here. That's it. If your arms don't feel good in that position and you'd rather more bring a bit of focused attention once again on our intent today, you can return one hand to heart, one hand to belly, and breathe by feeling the tone and the harmony of those two aspects of you. We'll take about 3 more breaths here before moving into Shavasana. So breathing right into the abdominals and the belly, up into the chest cavity, your lungs, and being able to exhale from the lungs, and then letting the full of the breath release from the belly.
Breath goes in and down, fills the belly, fills the lungs. Breath leaves by releasing from the lungs first and then the belly. One more time. Inhale to the belly. Keep inhaling to your lungs. Exhale from the lungs. And exhale from your belly. Please make the arrangements and any other necessary movements and motions to get yourselves ready and set up for Shavasana and your rest. We'll take a few minutes and rest, and then we'll come back together to close together as a class. As you are coming into Shavasana, notice the direction of your heart and where it's facing. The heart points to the most essential dimensions within you. And not to be connected with that and to live your life as if that dimension didn't exist is really missing the very purpose of your life on earth, no matter what you achieve outwardly. May you look and seek the love that is inwardly. Please enjoy your rest. As you take your next inward breath, take it right into the center and the depth of your heart. And from this place that you acknowledge with deep awareness and wisdom, continue to breathe into it. And imagine for a moment someone or something that you truly love. Place your hands on your heart center. And with that amount of love that you know you have the capacity and the abundance to offer,
May you let this love that you have return back to you in all and everything you do, no matter what. Letting yourself awaken with small motions and gestures that make sense to you. And taking some time to bend your knees and maybe rest on your right hand side. And please, whenever you're ready, slowly make your way to seated. Take your time. We'll close as a class together, folding our hands, letting our heart meet up toward the thumbs in connection, and then bring the chin toward the chest, feeling the softness and the energy of your mind, and letting it rest into your hearts here. May whatever you speak and say, not only to others and those around you, but especially with internal dialogue and self-talk, be one of kindness and one of absolute and conditional love to yourselves. Thank you for bringing your energy as well as your presence into class today. Namaste. Thank you.